Aristotle isn't just a name in your old school textbooks. He was a thinker who lived in ancient Greece, someone who was obsessed with understanding what it really means to live well. He wasn't interested in shallow success or quick happiness. Instead, he asked the big questions. What makes life worth living? How can we find balance and purpose? And more importantly, how can we apply these ideas in our everyday lives? Guess what? His teachings aren't dusty relics of the past. They're incredibly relevant today, if not more so. The challenges you face, like finding meaning in your work, creating lasting relationships, or just trying to figure out how to be happy, these are the very same issues Aristotle explored. And what's amazing is that his answers still hold today. We're going to dive into some of Aristotle's most powerful lessons, timeless wisdom that can guide you toward a life of purpose, balance, and true fulfillment. Whether you're looking to make better decisions, improve your relationships, or simply find peace in a chaotic world, Aristotle's ideas offer practical steps that can make a real difference. So, stick with me. By the end of this video, you'll not only have a deeper understanding of Aristotle's teachings, but also a clearer path to a happier, more meaningful life. 1. The pursuit of happiness, eudaimonia. We begin with something we all think about: happiness. Aristotle had a fascinating perspective on this. To him, happiness wasn't just about feeling good in the moment. It wasn't about buying a fancy new gadget, eating your favorite dessert, or getting a quick promotion. Those things might make you feel happy for a while, but Aristotle believed happiness goes much deeper than that. He called it eudaimonia, which means something like flourishing or living well. It's not about chasing temporary pleasures. It's about building a life that feels truly meaningful, a life where you're growing, contributing, and becoming the best version of yourself. Happiness, Aristotle said, is a journey, not a destination. It's about the choices you make every day. Now think about that. How often do we get caught up in quick fixes? Social media likes, shopping sprees, or just binge watching shows to escape. These things give us a dopamine hit, sure, but they don't last. Aristotle's idea of happiness challenges us to look beyond the quick highs. He's asking, what are you doing to live a meaningful life? What are you doing that truly matters to you? To live a life of eudaimonia, Aristotle said you need purpose. It's not just about what you achieve, it's about how you live. Are you kind to others? Are you learning, growing, and using your unique talents? Are you living according to your values? He believed that when you align your actions with your inner values, you create the kind of happiness that lasts. How can you apply this today? Start by reflecting on what gives your life meaning. Is it your family, your career, a creative passion? Focus on those things and invest your energy in them. Don't get distracted by chasing every little thing that promises instant joy. True happiness, according to Aristotle, comes when you pursue what really matters to you and stick with it. 2. The golden mean, balance in all things. Aristotle had this brilliant concept called the golden mean. At its core, it's about finding the middle ground between two extremes. Let me explain. Imagine a scale. On one side you have recklessness. On the other side you have fear. Somewhere in the middle is courage. Courage isn't about being fearless. It's about knowing when to act bravely without throwing caution to the wind. That's the golden mean. It's not about avoiding risks altogether, but it's not about jumping into danger without thinking either. This idea of balance applies to almost every area of life. Take work, for example. On one extreme, you could be a workaholic, sacrificing your health and relationships to climb the ladder. On the other extreme, you could be so laid back that you're not reaching your potential. The golden mean would be somewhere in between, working hard, but also making time for rest, relationships, and self-care. Or think about emotions. Let's say you're angry. If you suppress that anger completely, it can turn into resentment. But if you let it explode, you might hurt someone or damage a relationship. The golden mean here is expressing your feelings calmly and constructively. It's not easy to find this balance, and Aristotle knew that. He said it takes practice. You have to pay attention to your choices and ask yourself, am I leaning too far in one direction? Am I neglecting something important on the other side? This principle is so valuable today. We live in a world of extremes. We're either told to hustle nonstop or to drop everything and focus on self-care. We're encouraged to speak our minds, but also to avoid conflict at all costs. It's exhausting. Aristotle's golden mean reminds us that the answer often lies in the middle. So how can you use this idea in your own life? Start by observing where you might be out of balance. Are you spending too much time on one thing and neglecting another? Are you pushing too hard or holding back too much? Small adjustments can make a big difference. Balance isn't about perfection, it's about staying grounded and making thoughtful choices. 3. Practical wisdom, phronesis. Let's move on to something Aristotle called phronesis or practical wisdom. It sounds fancy, but it's actually quite simple. Practical wisdom is about knowing how to make the right decisions in your everyday life. It's not just about knowing what's right or wrong, it's about understanding how to apply that knowledge in real situations. Think about this. Life is full of choices. Some are small, like deciding what to eat for dinner, while others are big, like choosing a career path or how to handle a complicated relationship. Aristotle believed that practical wisdom is what helps us navigate these choices effectively. It's like having a compass that points you in the right direction when things get tricky. So how do you develop practical wisdom? According to Aristotle, it comes from experience. It's about learning from your successes and, yes, your mistakes. Every time you face a challenge and reflect on how you handled it, you're building that muscle of practical wisdom. Over time, you become better at seeing the bigger picture and making choices that align with your values and goals. For example, let's say you're in a conflict with a friend. You might feel the urge to say something harsh in the heat of the moment, but practical wisdom helps you pause and think, will this solve the problem, or will it make things worse? It helps you choose a response that's thoughtful instead of reactive. Another part of practical wisdom is knowing when to seek advice. Aristotle understood that we don't have all the answers, and sometimes the wisest thing you can do is ask for help. Whether it's a mentor, a trusted friend, or even learning from books and experiences of others, practical wisdom thrives on collaboration. In today's world, practical wisdom is more important than ever. We're bombarded with information, opinions, and choices every day. It's easy to feel overwhelmed or unsure about what to do next. But when you slow down, reflect, and trust your growing sense of judgment, you'll find that your decisions become clearer and more aligned with the life you want to live. 4. The importance of friendship. Now let's talk about something Aristotle considered essential for a fulfilling life: friendship. But he didn't just mean any kind of friendship. He believed there were 3 types, and understanding these can change how you see your relationships. The first type of friendship is based on utility. These are relationships that are useful in some way. Maybe it's a colleague you collaborate with on projects, or a neighbor who helps you out when you need it. These friendships are practical, but they're often short-lived because they're based on what you can do for each other. The second type is based on pleasure. These are the friends you have fun with, the ones you grab a coffee with, share jokes with, or go on adventures with. These friendships bring joy, but they can fade when the fun or common interests disappear. Then there's the third type, friendships based on virtue. Aristotle considered these the highest form of friendship. These are the people who genuinely care about you, not for what you can do for them, but for who you are. These relationships are built on mutual respect, trust, and shared values. They challenge you to grow, to be better, and to support each other through life's ups and downs. Think about your own friendships for a moment. How many of them fall into the first or second category? And how many feel like they belong in the third? Aristotle believed that friendships of virtue are rare, but they are worth striving for because they bring the most meaning and joy into your life. In today's fast-paced digital world, this lesson feels more relevant than ever. We might have hundreds of online connections, but how many of those are truly deep and meaningful? Aristotle reminds us to focus on quality over quantity. Instead of spreading yourself thin, invest in a few friendships that really matter. So how do you cultivate these virtuous friendships? Start by being a good friend yourself. Be honest, reliable, and supportive. Show up for the people who matter to you, not just when it's convenient, but when they need you most. And remember, a virtuous friendship isn't just about what you can get, it's about what you can give, too. Friendship for Aristotle wasn't just a nice bonus in life, it was essential to living well. The people you surround yourself with can inspire you, comfort you, and help you grow. So take a moment to appreciate the friendships that uplift you, and don't be afraid to let go of the ones that don't. 5. The role of virtue in everyday life. Let's dive into a core idea that Aristotle believed was the foundation of a good life: virtue. Now, when you hear the word virtue, it might sound old-fashioned or overly moralistic, but Aristotle saw it in a very practical way. Virtue to him was about developing good habits that guide your actions. It's not about being perfect, it's about striving to be your best self every day. Aristotle believed that virtues are like skills. Just like you'd practice to get better at playing the piano or cooking a great meal, you also practice virtues to live a better life. For example, courage doesn't mean you're fearless. It means you're willing to face challenges despite your fear. Generosity isn't about giving away everything you have, it's about sharing what you can in a thoughtful and meaningful way. But here's the key: virtues aren't something you're born with, you develop them by doing. Aristotle believed that our actions shape who we are. If you act honestly, even in small situations, you build the habit of honesty. If you practice kindness regularly, you become a kinder person. It's a process of becoming, not a one-time thing. So how does this play out in real life? Let's say you're faced with a tough decision at work. Maybe you have to choose between taking credit for something or sharing the spotlight with your team. A virtuous approach would involve humility and fairness, acknowledging everyone's contributions instead of seeking all the praise for yourself. Sure, it might not always be the easiest choice, but Aristotle would argue that it's the most fulfilling one in the long run. Living virtuously isn't about big, heroic gestures. It's about the small, everyday choices we make. It's choosing patience when you're stuck in traffic. It's showing empathy when someone needs a listening ear. It's being disciplined enough to stick to your goals, even when distractions are everywhere. The beauty of Aristotle's idea is that practicing virtue doesn't just make you a better person, it makes life more fulfilling. When you act with integrity, kindness, and purpose, you build stronger relationships, earn respect, and feel a deeper sense of peace within yourself. It's not about being perfect, it's about trying to improve little by little every day. 6. Embracing lifelong learning. Finally, let's talk about something Aristotle deeply valued: learning. For him, education and curiosity weren't just things you did in school. They were essential parts of living a meaningful life. He believed that we should never stop learning, because the moment we stop growing, we stop truly living. Think about it. How often do we let curiosity slip away as we get older? As kids, we're constantly exploring, asking questions, and trying to understand the world. But as adults, it's easy to fall into routines and stop challenging ourselves to learn new things. Aristotle would say that's a big mistake. He believed that curiosity and learning are what keep life fresh and exciting. But lifelong learning doesn't mean you have to go back to school or read every book on the shelf. It's about having an open mind and a willingness to grow. It could be as simple as learning a new skill, picking up a hobby, or diving into a topic that fascinates you. Maybe you've always wanted to learn a language, try cooking a new cuisine, or understand how the stock market works. These small steps of curiosity can make life richer and more enjoyable. Aristotle also believed that learning isn't just about gaining knowledge, it's about applying it. What's the point of knowing something if you don't use it to improve your life or help others? For instance, if you learn about healthy living but don't change your habits, that knowledge isn't doing much for you. The real value of learning comes from putting it into action. And here's the thing: learning isn't just about improving yourself, it's about connecting with the world. When you learn about different cultures, ideas, or perspectives, you become more understanding and empathetic. It's a way of broadening your horizons and seeing the world through new eyes. In today's world, lifelong learning is more important than ever. Technology is evolving, industries are shifting, and new challenges are constantly emerging. Staying curious and adaptable isn't just a way to grow, it's a way to thrive. So ask yourself, what's something you've always wanted to learn but never made time for? Start there. Embrace the mindset that every day is an opportunity to grow, and you'll find that life becomes not only more fulfilling, but also endlessly fascinating. Aristotle's ideas may be thousands of years old, but they feel like they were written for us today. A timeless guide toward a more fulfilling life. Think about it. Happiness isn't just about fleeting pleasures, it's about building a meaningful life. Balance isn't about avoiding extremes, it's about finding the middle ground that works for you. Wisdom isn't something you're born with, it's something you develop through experience. Friendship isn't about quantity, it's about the quality of the connections you nurture. Virtue isn't about perfection, it's about consistent effort to live with integrity. And learning, it's not something you finish when you graduate, it's a lifelong journey that keeps you growing and thriving. Aristotle's wisdom shows us that the good life isn't something that just happens, it's something you create. It's about the choices you make every day, the habits you form, and the way you show up in the world. His teachings remind us that living well isn't about chasing what's easy or convenient, it's about striving for what's meaningful and true. So as we wrap up, here's a question for you. What's one small step you can take today to apply these lessons in your own life? Thank you for joining me on this journey into Aristotle's teachings. I hope his wisdom inspires you as much as it has inspired millions of people for centuries. Until next time, take care and keep striving for the good life.